here at the home of Kenyan sports, Kenyan football, and as you can see, I'm wearing the Kenyan national team shirt. And I'm so excited because for the first time in 15 years, my home country, Kenya, will be participating in the Africa Cup of Nations, which will be starting this week on Friday, 21st of June, where the host Egypt will be taking on Zimbabwe. So what we want to do today is look at the different teams and different permutations that could take place. So before I move on to the team-by-team analysis and prediction, it will be important to recap the year for African players plying their trade in different leagues around the world. It's been a very, very good year for them. So let's see why. This year's Africa Cup of Nations was initially scheduled to be held in Cameroon during the months of January and February that has been customary for the previous editions of the AFCON. Due to political turmoil, particularly in the northwest of Cameroon, as well as organizational issues, Cameroon was forced to relinquish its right to host the tournament, and it was handed to Egypt and later postponed to mid-June. Many African players have benefited from this decision because it has allowed them to play full seasons at their respective clubs, particularly in top leagues around the world. We saw the Moroccan duo at Ajax, Hakim Ziyech and Noussair Mazraoui, lead Ajax to a Dutch double and to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Gabon's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Senegal's Sadio Mane, and Egypt's Mo Salah all finished as the joint top scorers of the English Premier League. A lot of top managers around the world have been on record saying that they don't purchase African players because they usually go for the AFCON in the middle of the season. Perhaps this may now change. Perhaps the Confederations of African Football, the governing body of African football, should consider moving the Africa Cup of Nations permanently from February to June, seeing how well African players have benefited from this decision. So now we're moving on to a team-by-team analysis of the different nations that will be taking part. Of course, this edition will have an extension of or enlargement of teams from 16 to 24 teams that will take part. So let's look at the different groups and the different permutations that could take place during the tournament. We start with Group A, that features the hosts Egypt, who are perhaps one of the favorites to win the tournament because of their home advantage, the stellar record in this tournament with the highest number of AFCON wins at 7, and of course they have the talisman and one of the world's best forwards, Mohamed Salah. We also have East African representation in the group with Uganda, who will be relying on the veteran keeper and captain Dennis Onyango and the young forward Farouk Mia, who made his debut for the Uganda Cranes at the tender age of 16. Zimbabwe will be hoping to better their 2017 AFCON performance and get out of the group stage with the help of captain and pacey attacking midfielder Knowledge Musona, as well as the anchor in midfield Marvelous Makamba. The Democratic Republic of Congo completes this group, and they boast quite a balanced and dangerous team with forwards like former Everton winger Yannick Bolasie and China-based striker Cedric Bakambu. I tip the DRC Congo and Egypt to make it out of the group. Egypt as the hosts and DRC Congo have too much quality for both Uganda and Zimbabwe, but it will be by no means easy. We move on to Group B that includes 2013 AFCON champions Nigeria. Nigeria will be looking to Alex Iwobi for a creative spark, and Nigeria have a core of young, exciting emerging players like Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi. One player to watch out for is 20-year-old Samuel Chukwueze, who has had a stellar season for Villarreal in the Spanish La Liga. This group also includes Burundi, who will be looking to England-based striker Saido Berahino, who has endured a tough season, having been sacked by his club Stoke City for drink driving. Madagascar will be making their first ever appearance to the tournament and will hope to cause a major upset and move on to the group stage. This group is capped off by Guinea, that is led by veteran captain and Germany-based winger Ibrahim Traore, and they will look to capitalize on the quality of the midfield talents like Napoli's Amadou Diawara and Liverpool's Naby Keita. This should be a group that both Guinea and Nigeria would expect to get out of. This group includes perhaps two of the strongest favorites to win the tournament, Algeria and Senegal, as well as East African rivals Kenya and Tanzania. Senegal appears to have the strongest team on paper with dangerous wingers such as Liverpool's Sadio Mane and Inter Milan's Keita Balde. At the back, they have the defensive rock and one of the world's best centre-backs, Napoli's Kalidou Koulibaly. Algeria always has a strong team that rely on Manchester City's tricky and skillful winger, Riyad Mahrez, who helped City to the English league title this past season. Kenya will be led by their captain and Tottenham Hotspur holding midfielder Victor Wanyama, who was part of Tottenham's campaign to the final of the UEFA Champions League. The other East African team, Tanzania, known as the Taifa Stars, will place their hopes on Belgium-based striker Mbwana Samata to get the goals that they will need to get them to the next round. Although I'd love to see my home country Kenya and our East African neighbors Tanzania do well in the AFCON, Algeria and Senegal will have too much quality and this should be a straightforward passage to the next round for both teams. We move on to Group D, the toughest group in my opinion. This group includes Ivory Coast, the 2015 AFCON champions. Although the golden generation of players such as the Toure and Kalou brothers, Didier Drogba have all retired, Ivory Coast supporters should definitely be confident to this young dynamic team with players like 22-year-old Milan midfielder Franck Kessié and the dangerous forward line that includes Wilfried Zaha and Nicolas Pepe, who has attracted interest from teams such as Liverpool and Bayern after his stellar season for Lille. The group also includes Morocco that has one of the most talented and balanced teams in the tournament with players like the Ajax duo Hakim Ziyech and Nusra Mazroui, as well as Achraf Hakimi, who has had a great season for Dortmund. Morocco will rely on the experience and composure of former Bayern and Juventus defender Mehdi Benatia to take them all the way. We also have 1996 AFCON champion South Africa that will look to capitalize on the striking partnership of Belgium-based striker Percy Tau and 23-year-old French-based striker Lebo Motiba, who is one young player I tip to make his name at the tournament. The final team in the group is Namibia that will be making their first appearance since 2008. Namibia will be hoping to cause a big upset in this group. This will be a tough group for all the teams, but I tip Morocco and Ivory Coast to get through to the next stage. We move on to Group E that includes Angola, who will hope to depend on the defensive qualities of Lazio centre-back Bastos and Sporting Lisbon right-back Bruno Gaspar. Mauritania will be making their first appearance in the tournament and it will be interesting to see how they will fare in the competition. Mauritania is also joined by their neighboring country Mali in Group D, who are one of the youngest teams in the tournament, with exciting young players such as RB Leipzig midfielder Amadou Haidara, but they will nonetheless look for leadership from FC Porto's 28-year-old striker Moussa Marega. This group is capped off by Tunisia, who will depend on France-based attacking midfielder Wabi Kazri to provide the creative spark, along with forward Youssef Moussakni to score goals. Ultimately, I think Tunisia and Mali should make it out of this group on paper, but Angola has every chance of causing an upset. We move on to the final group, Group F, that includes defending champions Cameroon, who will of course be disappointed that they will not be hosting the tournament this year. Cameroon has a long history of producing world-class goalkeepers such as Carlos Kameni and Thomas Kono, to name just a few. And this year, Cameroon will depend on Ajax's young 23-year-old goalkeeper Andre Onana to keep other teams at bay. Guinea-Bissau will be looking to make a mark on this tournament and will hope that their deep-lying England-based midfielder Pele will lead them to the next stage. Another team looking to cause an upset is Benin, who have a talented forward line and will hope that the England-based marksman Stephen Mounier, as well as veteran attacking midfielder Steven Sessegnon, will make them get through to the next stage. This group is capped off by the ever-present Ghana, who seem to be always close but never gets over the line. The team will be led by 33-year-old veteran striker Asamoah Gyan, who had initially this year announced his retirement from the national team, but received a personal call from Ghana's president Nana Akufo-Addo to convince him to come out of retirement. This final group should provide a lot of entertainment. Nonetheless, my picks to get out of this group would be Cameroon and Ghana. The Africa Cup of Nations has served us some amazing memories and some amazing moments. So let's look back at some of the most memorable moments from previous editions of the Africa Cup of Nations. We start in Gabon in the 2012 AFCON, where Zambia, against all odds, caused a massive upset and beat the golden generation of Ivory Coast. This win was particularly special, almost mystical, because 19 years before that, the Zambian national football team in the year 1993 was involved in a plane crash that killed all passengers on board, shortly after takeoff from Libreville, Gabon. So for Zambia to win the tournament against a wonderful Cote d'Ivoire team in Libreville, Gabon, definitely rates as one of the best moments. African players love to celebrate goals with pomp and dance, but these two goalkeepers take it to the next level. Egypt's Essam Al-Hadri, who was the oldest player in the 2018 World Cup at 45 years old, became famous for some of his exuberant celebration whenever Egypt would win the AFCON. He would sit on a post and swing his hands along with the fans. But no one beats the celebration of DRC goalkeeper Robert Kidiaba, who would dance on his backside, and that definitely was a memorable moment. Let's hope this year's edition will serve us some more memorable moments. So ultimately, who will win the tournament? Who will be the top scorer? Who's the young player to watch out for? So these are some of my predictions for the tournament. There's so many brilliant teams that will be taking part in this year's tournament, and ultimately it is hard to see any clear favorite for the title. But I'd say the two favorites are Egypt and Senegal. Senegal, in my view, has the best squad, but I think it is 2017 finalists, Egypt, that will take the title because of their home advantage, great team chemistry and spirit, and of course Mohamed Salah. The dark horses in the tournament would be Ivory Coast with a very dynamic and talented team. The top scorer in the tournament will be Egypt's Mohamed Salah. There are many young talented players to watch out for, such as Senegal's Ismaili Sarr, Morocco's Ashraf Hakimi, Mali's Amadou Haidara, but the young player of the tournament will be Nigeria's 20-year-old winger Samuel Chukwueze. Football is so unpredictable, we never know what will happen. So let's wait and see how the AFCON will go down. So I'm so excited that the AFCON is finally here. I can't wait for this tournament to get started. So looking forward to it. May the best team win. Go Kenya!